Welcome back to the Elasto YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to tie a rig with our new chrome line. Now I'm going to use 023 because I'm going to tie a nice strong rig so you can see everything that a little bit easier, and I've even got a top kit of how to actually attach it even for my carp fishing. But here on the Don we're going to be doing some edge fishing hopefully when this sun goes away. So I'm going to tie a nice strong rig, durable rig, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. So like I said, don't need much of a length of line, so all I normally do as well, I normally just go like that's this 5.5 foot-ish. So whenever I'm tying any deep rigs or something, I do 3, or if I'm doing any shallow rigs, I just do 1. It's just a nice way to sort of reference it rather than missing how much line you need. And I always take it off already. Now I know a lot of people use like rig mates and things like that, but if you don't, or if you're just getting into it and you're beginning how to tie a rig, this is absolutely great for you because it probably is a slightly longer way of doing it, but it's very easy and you know exactly what you're doing. A lot of people use loop ties, things like that. I've never have and probably never will, so I probably should. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tie the top end first. So I'm going to tie a nice big loop, biggish loop, not too big. So literally, because I'm probably going to cut this down, bear in mind. So I'm literally going to get 2 lengths of line, cross them over, pinch them there. I'm going to create a figure of 8. So I'm going to twist that line just there and push it back through that line there and pull that down. Now, this one's pretty irrelevant. Do excuse if I'm just going past, but this one is pretty irrelevant because more times out of 10, I'm probably going to cut this line down for the perfect rig, because unless I'm very lucky, like I said, you're always going to make your rig a bit too big. So I just use something like that where I can pull onto it, a little hook on it, pull that tight, pull your tag end like that, and then just trim your tag end off again. Do try and use scissors, I don't. And now that's my top end sorted. I'm going to slide it down to the bottom end of my line. I'm going to get my float. Well, my float in question is nice and strong, nice and durable. 2 mil bristle, glass stem. And all I'm going to do, take the silicones off. I can do this without dropping them all. This could be risky. Now, I'll talk you through the silicones as I put them back on. Obviously, this is a rig I've already used. I'm just retying it. I'm going to put them down just like that. I'm going to show you why I've got longer silicones in certain places. All I'm going to do, thread the bottom of the line through the top of the eye, just like that. Slide that down onto the line itself, just like that. And then I'm going to get the top silicone, which I'm going to say is my medium piece of silicone in length. Okay? And then I'm going to get my middle silicone, which is my smallest piece of silicone. I'll show you them once they're lined up. And then my third one's going to be a longer piece of silicone. That is really, really important. It stops you damaging your floats, damaging your line, your rig won't be trashed. And then all I'm going to do, I'm going to get my float. So once they're all on my line, get my float and I'm going to thread my silicone on. Okay, so starting with my medium silicone, I'm going to slide that on, slide them all on. I can show you what we're doing with them. Okay, so they're nicely in position. Okay, so I put one just underneath my float, just like that, a little bit away. Now that is a medium piece because it's nice and stable. It's going to keep it really, really still. When you're plumbing up in the margins and you plumb up to exact place, when they're ragging you through branches, you're landing ahead, you need your rig to stay in position. It's really important. And then I've got my medium piece. Doesn't need to be as big, because it's basically just holding the line in the middle of the float. Okay, now I don't have it right underneath your float, this one, because then the line's going to pull round and it's going to cut into my body. So just pull it away slightly, a little bit of a gap there, just means it's not going to break through as much. And then I've got a medium piece to hold it nice and tight in the middle, and I've got a longer piece here, and as you can see, I've actually pulled that over. So what it does there, look, if I pull that there, if I do get, because you're going to get a lot of that in your landing net head, when it's ragging you through, it's going to sit, it's going to pull away. That there just means that my line's always kicking away. It's never going to create tangles. It's never going to want to kick up back over the float. Because bear in mind, if I had it like that, for example, you'll see that my line can actually wrap round here because it's not on the end. And that's going to cause you a lot of problems in turn. And what it can actually do as well is cut your silicone ever so slightly. If it was there, for example, it's going to try and eventually cut your silicone, and that's obviously going to damage your line. And when you're bagging in a match or a pleasure session, you want to get as many fish as you can. Last thing you want is your rig to break. So that's there on. Wet it slightly so it's just easier to slide up my line. But again, once it's in position, it's absolutely tight. And then that can just sit there now. I'm going to tie the bottom of my rig. Again, a smaller loop this time. This is why a loop tie can come in handy. So again, I'm just going to tie it a smaller loop, and all I get to do with that is once I've threaded it through, I just pinch that line and then slide that down like that, and that just basically just creates a nice loop. And wet that, pull that tight. Sorry for moving around too much. I'm going to put that on there, and then I'm going to pull that tight just like that. Wet it again. Pull that tight out. Pull that tight. Pull both tight. As you can see, it won't be the neatest enough because it is 023 line. As you can see, nice knot there. Perfect for attaching your hook clamp to. even if you did need to add a banded hook length, perfectly big enough, but not too big. That's the idea. And then what I can do obviously as well, shotting pattern for that probably is going to be a bulker shot. So that's when I look to add my shot if I needed to. Obviously personally it would probably just go straight on a winder, straight in my box, ready to go if I wanted to. But I'm going to show you how I actually attach a shot very, very briefly. And then I'm going to chat to you how I actually attach it to my rig as well. So I'm going to get a few pieces of shot out. Again, you don't need all the equipment. You know, if you're very basic like me, you don't like to do too much and get too many things in it. All I do is basically hold that tight, get my shot, put it on my finger like that. I mean, number 8's talking about, so nice and easy. All I do is bite them on, very simply. Again, they're just little tubes, so they're not going to damage your teeth or anything. Very soft shot. Now, the reason why I use cubes and not shot, well, for the main reason is that I want them to move if they have to move, i.e. in your landing at head when you're catching big fish. This is what that rig's all about. So if I quickly just put 5 on there, again a 0.4 takes 5 number 8s. Try and face them all the same way, very easy. Again, you can use shot pliers, and then you just need to, just means that if you want to tie one on the bank, it becomes a little bit of hassle because you have to keep that nice and tight. As you can see, done quite nicely if I say so myself. Just 5 number 8s there, nicely, just spread apart so it doesn't create a big curl. And then all I'm going to do, that's my rig, nice bulker shot. Probably going to be fishing in like 2 foot of water with that sort of rig. And then number 1 thing as well is always have a little back shot, just helps control that rig. So I'm just going to put that just a little bit away from the float, and that there just means that I can create a nice little like that in my line, so it's not going to get like that and waft about. I can sit that level with the water, and as you can see, it controls the float from trying to drift away and things like that. And then if I was to add it to a top kit, all I'd do is get that loop. Now obviously I'll just quickly show you, I'm using the pink Flowbrid Pro elastic, 18 plus rated hybrid elastic, and I've got a little direct bead on there. So why you think, well, a direct bead for carp fishing, is it going to cut through your line? Not at all, that's all I use. So let's just slide that off there, nice click in place, a little figure of 8 loop on there. So now I've got that sliding away from there. Now, all I'm going to do, this is why my loop's a little bit bigger, I'm going to create a loop in my line, so that's my main line, create a loop, slide that down, and I'm going to thread that through my main loop of my line, just like that, okay? So then I've created a loop there, look. I'll show that again. So there's my main bit of line. I've got my loop, I'm going to create 2 loops of line, thread that through my main line, loop, and then pinch that, and I've got this little loop here. And that is what I'm going to attach over the back of that knot, just like that. And then I'm going to slide that down, and as you can see, that then can slide down just behind the knot itself, just like that, pull that tight, and as you can see, it's actually pulled tight just behind the actual loop in the elastic. Pull that tight, and all I'm going to do then is slide my bead back over there, and that keeps it very nice in place. But hence the name, a direct bead keeps everything nice and direct, and it just means I can use that for any shallow. I can actually use the elastic or top kit for any shallow fishing, edge fishing, do for everything now. And yes, eventually it might cut through your elastic, but by that point you're probably changing your elastic anyway. Worst case scenario, just check it every now and then and work your way back if you need. For example, if you left it like that for a while in the sun, it will very slightly start to perish in the long run. But like I said, our elastic is coated with UV protection, so it doesn't do that for a lot longer period of time. So you should be absolutely fine with that. I've never had any problems ever, and like I said, you always change your elastic before that. So that's exactly how I attach it. It means it's direct. Obviously, if I wanted to cut the line down, all I do then is just pull that tight, just like that, for getting on that, and just literally push that line back off. And as you can see there, comes off as easy as that. But once it's on place and that bead's covered it, it's absolutely perfect. So there you go, that's my little guide on how to tie a pole rig.